Hey guys, welcome back to my channel again. My name is Arsalan and today we are on day 10th of building the problem solving skills with the help of Python. Now, if you are very new to this channel, very new to this playlist, let me give you a very brief introduction of what this playlist is all about. In this playlist, we have been building problem solving skills with the help of Python. We started from a very basic question. We started from strings, then we moved on to Boolean, then we moved on to integer as well. And right now we are focusing on list data type. And with the help of list data types, our motive is to build the problem solving skills. Now, on day 10 we have yet another question, and that question is list filtering. The question says write a Python function to flatten a nested list, turning it into a one-dimensional list. For example, if the input is like this, the function should return like this. All right, so the example is this, and the output we should give in the is the one dimensional, that should it should that is it should return all the elements from the nested list. Suppose we have 1 2 inside a list, 1 2 3 4 5 inside a list, and 6 as well, and all of those elements inside a list should be just come inside one dimensional list. So that's all we have to do in the question. Now, just before starting to solve this question, guys, do subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, press the bell icon button, and bookmark the playlist so that you can get the updates from the channel. Now, what our idea here would be, first of all, we will be creating a function that will be saying list filtering, and we will be taking my list, let's suppose, as our list. Now what our next step would be, it would be to first of all, let's just pass this value for a while, and then just let's print this filtering function while taking parameters as list 1 2. We have list inside list, so 1 2, I will be taking exact same replica of the list which is there inside in my example, and it's the same which I have taken here. Now what we have to do here is, guys, we just have to return a one-dimensional list. So of course we will be using a loop. All right, so let's suppose all of those elements inside this list should come inside a new list. So I'll be creating another list that will be our new list, is equals to this. It's an empty list, and in this empty list I will be appending all the elements which are present inside my list. So to do that, I will be creating a loop. So let's suppose I run a loop for elements in my list, and if I just show it to you, that if I print elements, I will be getting these three lists. In the first iteration I will be getting 1 2 inside a list, 3 4 5 in the second iteration again inside a list, and 6 again inside a list in the third iteration. But now let's just run this code and show it to you, that after I run this code I will be getting what I just said it right now. You can see, and this none value is just coming up because I have printed it twice. I have also printed this function, and I have also printed inside a function, and I have also printed this whole function, so that's why it's coming a none. If I remove it from here, you will be not seeing a none value, as you can see. But however, I will be returning this value, so I just have to means I will be just not printing it, I will be returning some value. That's why I just use print here. Now that will be just returned eventually after I just give you the logic of how we will be just dealing with it. Now if you see that if I just print this value, you can see that on each iteration I am getting a list, right? On each iteration I am getting a list. So can we just not run again a loop, and can we just not run inside a loop? If we just run a loop inside a loop, what I mean here is, let's suppose we have this loop here, right? And if I just run inside this loop again a loop and another loop, and say that for items in elements, print items, what does it will printing what it will be printing? It will be printing me 1 2 3 4 5 6 on each number of lines. Let me just show it to you. see, it's just printing me all of these values, right? And how it coming up to be, it's coming up to be like this. Let's just, I have shown it to you that if I, while I was printing elements, I was getting three list, right? Three lists I was getting. So what I did here is I just created a loop inside a loop, and it will be just giving me items inside in elements. So elements was my these three, right? These were my elements. So I just said that if elements are these, so just run a loop inside those elements, right? So I run a loop inside elements, so that's why I got items, right? And I will be not doing this, I will not printing these values. In fact, I have to return a list. So what I will be saying that I will be just saying that new list dot append items, and return new list. So that's all I have to do in the question. Let me just show it to you that I got the answer in one dimensional list. To make it a more better view for the better view for you of the question, let's just say in first iteration what is happening. First iteration of outer loop. So outer loop, let's say it's running it for elements. So I'm just running it for elements. So this is my outer loop and this is my inner loop. So in first iteration what happening was, let me just comment it for a while, and I will be not I'll just, what I'll be doing here is I will just copy pasting something. So that will be these three values, because I do not want to just write it again and again. So I will be saying that control V here. So in the first iteration I'll be getting this, in the second iteration I'll be getting this, and in the third iteration I'll be getting this. Alright, now in the first iteration of outer loop running it, and let us comment this value, and that let's comment this value as well, and let us comment this value as well. Now this was my second iteration, not the first one, so I'll be replacing this first by second, and this was my third iteration, so I'll be replacing this first by third, and that's all, and we are good to go. Now we understood that this is my first iteration. I just have closed it by a mistake, so let's just open it again. I just closed that file. Now let's just open it again. I have opened it again, and let's just see that what our next step would be. So we have already solved this question. I'm just making an explanation here. So as you can see that in the first iteration we got this, in the second iteration we got this, and third iteration we got this, right? Now what we did here is we just running a loop. We are just running a loop inside a loop. So in the first iteration of outer loop we have one more loop, right? So we will be saying that first iteration for first iteration of inner loop for loop running it for items. Now what we will be getting here is we will be getting 1, right? And then we will be getting 2. So we run a loop and we got a list, and then we again run a loop inside a loop, then we got 1 in the first iteration, in the second iteration we got 2. Similarly it will be happening for this as well, that after we got this we can just say that second this will be our first iteration inside a loop, and this will be our, let me just put it like this, this will be a first iteration, and the second iteration would be this for the first iteration of the outer loop. So the first iteration it will be like this. In the first iteration we will be getting 1 and 2, and then we again run a loop inside a loop, so we got 1 in the first iteration, we got 1 in the second iteration, we got 2. I hope you understood this. And then we move further, we got second loop here, and in the first second loop, the first iteration of inner loop we will be getting 3, and we will be getting what, we will be getting 4 in the second iteration, and eventually we will be getting 5 in the third iteration. Let's just put it like this. 4, and this will be our 5. So this will be replaced by second, and this will be replaced by third, third. Now, and we got 3 4 5 in the first iteration of the inner loop. Of the second iteration, let's just write means it's the inner loop, first iteration of inner loop of the second iteration, right? So I have written it like this. In the second iteration it will be like this, all right. And in the third iteration, it will be third iteration of outer loop. We will be having first iteration first. Let me just copy paste it here. First iteration of inner loop, and we will be getting 6, and then it will exit the outer loop. Now I have to also put it like this here, that it will exit the, let's just put it here, it will exit the inner loop of first iteration. It will be happening like this, and here it will exit the inner loop of the it will exit the inner loop of the, means all inner loops will be completed, so it will exit, and then it will again iterate it, and we will be getting second iteration, and it will exit the second iteration, and then it will be moving on to third iteration. So let's just put it like this. It will be for third iteration, and then finally it will exit the outer loop. And outer loop means it will be first of all doing it for this, right? And then it will be going inside this. It will be keep on iterating, and then it will be going on second iteration of the outer loop, and then again it will be coming inside this loop, and it will be having 3 iteration, and then again it will be completing this and moving on to third iteration of the outer loop. And then third iteration of that loop, we will be having one more iteration, that will be, we will be getting 6 like this. And after that there will be no elements left, so it will be exiting the inner loop, and as well as we do not have items as well, and we do not have elements as well, so it will be exiting the complete loop section, and then it will be returning me this value, that is my new list. So I have returned this value. It will exit the outer loop, and it will eventually and finally return me the new list, that is my this value. So hope you have understood this question, guys. And if I replace it with my let's suppose I take some values which are, let's suppose uh, which are not number. Let's say I take Arsalan and Ahmed, then also it will work. It will be not something that is particular to numbers. It can be also done to strings, and it can also be done to booleans as well. So it's just that you have to put it a correct value. Now you can see that we have got the exact replica of what is just asked in the question. I hope you have understood this question, guys. I have just made a clear explanation here, that what is happening in it on each iteration here, with a clear explanation and with a clear visualization of what will be happening on each iteration, and inside outer loop and inside inner loop what will be exactly happening. Now this was all in the question, guys. Hope you have understood this question, guys, and if you do so, please guys do comment in the comment section that you have understood this question, guys. And if you feel like that this playlist is really helping you guys, please guys do share it with your friends as well, so that they can also get benefit from this playlist. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video, and see you next time.